Next to me is the all-new Tesla Model S Plaid, the fastest production car in the world. It seats 5 people comfortably, yet can smoke hypercars in complete silence. So is this the best car in the world? Well, today I'm gonna find out exactly that. The Tesla Model S was originally released back in 2012, and it took the world by storm. Finally, an electric car that wasn't slow and wasn't ugly. It was capable of sprinting from 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds. That's performance car numbers, had a massive screen and a decent range. But boy, have things escalated quickly from there. Fast forward to 2021 and we have this, the all-new Tesla Model S Plaid. It starts at $129,900 and fully optioned, it comes in just under 150 grand. Expensive, yes, but when you consider all it offers and the performance, it might actually be the deal of the century. The car has 3 motors, 1 at the front and 2 in the rear, for a combined output of 1,020 horsepower and 1,050 pound-feet of torque. That's right, a 5-seater green EV making over 1,000 horsepower. Because electric motors produce instant torque at 0 RPMs, the Model S Plaid absolutely rockets off the line. 0 to 60 miles an hour happens in 1.99 seconds. Yes, that's right, the legendary 2-second barrier has been broken by an all-electric sedan. Nothing else even comes close. Bugatti Chiron? Pfft, forget about it. LaFerrari? Laughable in comparison. The only car that's actually faster, and I mean the only car in the world, is the Rimac Nevera. That'll cost you $2.4 million, and it hasn't actually hit the streets yet. This thing is a ballistic missile. It's actually frightening behind the wheel. The Model S Plaid isn't just fast from 0 to 60. In my opinion, the most impressive part about this car is after 80 miles an hour. It pulls and pulls at such an insane ferocity, it actually almost doesn't feel real or possible. It is actually ridiculous. Tesla says that it doesn't actually reach its full 1,020 horsepower until 80 miles an hour, and that's when things get truly insane. The wild part is this car from the factory can run the quarter mile in 9.2 seconds. That's right, a family sedan that comes straight from the factory running low 9s. For reference, the $3 million Bugatti Chiron with 1,500 horsepower runs a quarter mile in 9.6 seconds. I can't think of something much more awesome than a 5-seater family car that can smoke a Bugatti Chiron. As of right now, the Model S Plaid is limited to 163 miles an hour. After a software update happens, if you have the right wheels equipped, it'll be bumped up to 200 miles an hour. Now, traditionally, electric cars are known for losing steam after about 80 miles an hour. To fix this, Tesla has done something really unique, a production first. Inside of the electric motors, they've actually created a carbon fiber sleeve around the copper rotors. That means when the copper rotors are spinning really fast, it actually prevents them from expanding, allowing much higher RPMs, up to 20,000 RPMs for the motors, meaning we can achieve a much larger top speed. The carbon sleeve also creates a much more powerful electric field. Tesla says this renders a 2-speed gearbox, like on the Taycan Turbo S, completely useless. And after driving this thing, I completely agree. The interior of the Model S Plaid has been completely redesigned, but there's been some tweaks on the exterior of the car as well. You'll notice it has a much more aggressive stance than the outgoing Model S. That's thanks to massive flared fenders in the front and the rear. That allows for 1-inch wider wheels in the front and 1.5-inch wider wheels in the back for extra grip. There's some subtle tweaks to the lower portion of the front fascia as well as the rear diffuser, but to the untrained eye, the new Plaid looks pretty much like any other Model S, save for the wheels, if you know what you're looking for, and a tiny little badge that says Plaid on the back. To be honest, for the fastest production car in the world, I wish they went a little more exotic with the looks. It's beautiful, yes, but it would be nice if it was a little bit crazier as compared to, say, the standard long-range Model S. The Model S Plaid comes with 2 different wheel options. Standard are 19s that come on Pirelli P0s, and for $4,500 you can upgrade to these 21-inch Arachnid wheels, which come with much better rubber, Michelin Pilot Sport 4Ss. Interestingly enough, Tesla says that in order to unlock the full 200-mile-an-hour top speed, you actually have to option the 21-inch wheels. Around back, the Model S Plaid looks like pretty much every other Tesla. There are some minute differences with the lower portion of the bumper, and we have this nice carbon fiber spoiler, but that's pretty much it, save for this Plaid badge. Now, open up the rear hatch, and it reveals an impressive amount of storage space. Tesla claims that if you fold down the rear seats, you can actually fit a full-size bicycle in the Model S without removing the front wheel. Try that in your Bugatti Chiron. Not happening. And of course, because it's an electric car, we have some storage space in the frunk as well. Quick note about the wheels for those with range anxiety. With the standard 19-inch wheels, you get an extremely impressive 396 miles of range. If you upgrade to the 21s, you get 348 miles of range. Still impressive, but definitely a decrease. The interior of the Model S Plaid has been completely overhauled, and it is honestly breathtaking. In fact, Tesla claims the only remaining parts from the old Model S are the seat rails. But the thing everyone is talking about is this. Nope, there is no option for a standard steering wheel in the Model S. Instead, you have this yoke, which basically looks like an upside-down Formula One wheel. I absolutely love the way it looks, but I was very concerned. What is this thing actually like to use at slow speeds in parking lots for quick maneuverability? Or what's it like in tight, twisty canyon roads? More on that in a bit. Now, there are 3 different color schemes to choose from. There's the standard black interior, that's a no-cost option. Then we have, for $2,000, the upgraded black and white two-tone interior, this one, which is by far my favorite, and another $2,000 option, there is a cream interior. There are 2 different trim levels to choose from. You can either get walnut or carbon fiber. Both look great. The new seats in the Model S Plaid are incredibly comfortable. They're beautiful, and they're also heated as well as cooled. Now, you'll notice the screen is now landscape instead of vertical. It's a massive 17-inch unit with beautiful graphics. It's unbelievably responsive, and honestly, this is probably the best multimedia system of any car on the road. I love how they've integrated the bottom portion of the screen into the dash itself. Now, if you look around the car, you'll notice there's pretty much no buttons or switches everywhere. That's because they've located all of them either on the yoke or on the screen. Speaking of the screen, it's got some pretty darn cool features. Click this button here and you can watch Netflix, Hulu, or even watch your favorite Twitch streamer live on your Tesla Model S. But it doesn't stop there. You can also go over to Toy Box or Arcade and play a whole bunch of different fun games. In fact, one of the games actually allows you to use the yoke as the steering wheel controller in the game. How cool is that? Now, I know a lot of people are going to complain that, oh, it's got 1,020 horsepower, but it's an electric car. It has no soul. It doesn't make any noise. Well, Tesla has come up with a funny solution for that. Check this out. If we head over to Toy Box, you can actually customize the sound your horn makes. Right now, I've got it set to this old classic car noise. How funny is that? But you can actually use an external driving sound in this car. If you saw Brooks from Drag Times, he recreated a Tesla Hellcat noise, and it was blasting Hellcat V8 engine noises all over the exterior of the car. Right now, I've got it set to an ice cream truck. Insane. One thing you'll notice about the interior of the Plaid is that you can't actually see the air conditioning vents. So where are they? Well, they've hidden them seamlessly in the trim of the Plaid. And I actually really like the way that looks. I think more manufacturers should do that. Another one of my favorite parts about the interior is this piano black strip that runs all the way across the front of the dash and seamlessly continues here along the side, but in a satin finish. One thing I wish Tesla had done is on this portion, the passenger side, make a display like the 812 Superfast, where you can see speed or navigation info. The coolest thing would have been is when you accelerate in this car during launch control, it has this really cool Plaid graphic that I'll show later on. I wish that Plaid graphic also went on the sides throughout the car. I think it would create a really epic experience. One thing I think they missed the boat on was there's no beautiful ambient lighting. Tesla, add some multicolor ambient lighting and this interior is gonna be perfect. The design is so minimalist, they've gotten rid of your turning indicators, your windshield wipers, as well as your drive selector. So how do you do any of that? Well, the turning indicators are actually located as touch buttons on the yoke itself. If you press the arrow hard, it'll stay on for an extended period of time. If you simply rest your finger on it and then release, it goes on for the duration that you have your finger on the arrow. We've also got headlights on the steering wheel itself. This is the volume control and track selector if you're playing music. The horn is actually a little touchpad on the side of the steering wheel. This doesn't actually do anything. We've got windshield wipers as well as voice commands, and this is how you activate autopilot. You simply click this twice, and all of a sudden the car will start driving itself. Pretty epic. All right, that's fun and all, but how do you actually put this car into drive? How do you move it forwards or go backwards? Well, there's actually 3 different ways you can do this, and I don't think there's any other car where there's 3 ways to go forward or backwards. The first way to drive the Tesla Model S Plaid is to use Tesla's Auto Shift Out of Park Beta. Go into pedals and steering. We'll go ahead and shift that on. Now, using the cameras and sensors around the car, your Tesla is going to determine whether it thinks you want to go forwards or backwards. In this case, it has a little indicator on the screen saying tap to activate drive, so it thinks we want to go forward, which is the case. Let's press the brake right now. Oh no, how do I turn it off? It's not an ice cream truck. Okay, there we go. And now we are in drive. I just click the gas. Personally, I prefer selecting these on my own. So how do you do that? Well, you'll notice this little dotted strip on the left of the display. If you swipe down, that's how you go into reverse. If you swipe the car up, that's how you go forward. And if you click P, that's how you put it into park. Now, there's one last way to change the drive modes, and that's down here. It's actually hidden at first, but when you tap on it, it brings up park, reverse, neutral, and drive, and you can use those little buttons down there if you so desire. Some other cool parts about the vehicle's interior. I love the fact that we have 2 different wireless charging spots right here. We've also got 2 wireless chargers in the back of the car. We've got ample storage space everywhere in the vehicle. Storage here, we've got cup holders, nice storage space here as well, on the sides as well as the glove box. Overall, it is a really practical car. Now, before we take the Plaid for a drive, let's hop into the rear seats and check it out. The rear of the Tesla Model S Plaid is a great place to be as well. There's tons of space back here for 3 full-size adults. Look, I've got tons of legroom and tons of headroom. If you just want to have 2 people back here, you can pull down the center armrest, which gives you cup holders, as well as 2 different wireless charging spots and some extra little storage. But we also have a nice screen back here. Right now it's showing me what music is playing. We can turn on the heated seats, change the climate control, as well as watch YouTube or Twitch or Netflix on the rear screen. How crazy is that? I can't think of a better way to start the driving portion of this review than with a full throttle launch. So I'm gonna click the little car icon on the left of the multimedia screen, click pedals and steering, where it will reveal all the different driving modes. There's a chill mode, a sport mode, plaid mode, and this one, drag strip mode. Now, when I click drag strip mode, the car is actually going to heat and cool the battery packs and chill the motors for optimal performance over the next couple of minutes. Up on the dash, it gives an estimate of how many minutes remaining. I've actually already warmed the car up, and once it's done, it says peak performance ready. In order to do launch control, you then floor the brake with your left foot and floor the gas with your right foot. But unlike any other production car, it actually starts to lower the front end of the car over the next 8 seconds when you have both pedals floored in what's called cheetah stance. Tesla claims this gives it a better launch. I'm not going to deny it since it can do 0 to 60 in 1.99 seconds. All right, hold the brake, floor the gas. Up on the screen, it says preparing for launch and hold on for dear life. This car is not a joke. The acceleration is actually brutal. It says ready to launch, cheetah stance complete. Oh boy. Whoa! Oh my God, this car is actually so fast that it should be illegal. I think it's time to run that back again. That's just too much fun. You'll notice up on the screen, when you are in that full launch control, it actually has this really cool graphic that displays all these plaid lines all over the screen. And like I mentioned before, I thought it would be really cool if that theme continued throughout that little trim on the sides of the interior. All right, let's run it back. Floor the brake, floor the gas. Now watch this time on the display. When I start accelerating in full cheetah mode launch control, it actually has this insane plaid graphic that pops up on the screen. All right, ready to launch. Oh! Oh my God! I've never felt anything like that before, honest to gosh. I've been in a Bugatti Chiron, I've been in a 1600 wheel horsepower GTR, and the way this thing takes off is unlike any vehicle I have ever experienced. The craziest part though, is that it actually seems like it pulls harder and gives you an initial jolt that's more intense, not from a standstill, but at a roll. If you're just cruising along at 40 miles an hour and then stab the throttle, it launches you back into your seat and you feel it everywhere in your body, from your head to your eyeballs, to your chest, to your stomach. Everything is just pinned against the seat in this terrifying yet incredibly fun sensation. If you love roller coasters, the Tesla Model S Plaid is as close to those maglev roller coaster launch rides that exist. This thing is absolutely out of this world. Now, there's more modes than just drag strip mode. Let's put it into chill mode, whereby the car actually becomes so slow. It's kind of impressive. I imagine this mode is great for getting better range, as well as if you loan it to somebody who's not familiar with the car, or give it to a family member, put it in chill mode, because even at full throttle acceleration, I would have figured that it was just a throttle response thing, but if you floor it all the way down, it doesn't actually accelerate all that fast. I mean, this is full throttle. It's nice and relaxing. Then we have a sport mode, which still feels kind of slow, especially compared to the Plaid. It does have much better throttle response, but it doesn't have that hit that the Plaid mode does. We'll put it back into Plaid. Now, there are also different modes for steering. There's Comfort, Standard, and Sport. I honestly don't like any of the steering modes other than Sport. In Comfort mode, it doesn't actually change the steering ratio. It just makes the resistance a little bit less, and it kind of feels like the car is all over the place in Comfort mode, so I keep it in Sport. Now, there's different settings for the suspension as well: Comfort, Automatic, Sport, and Advanced. There's also ride height control. I keep it in Sport at all times. Now, along with its insane performance, I mean 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds, a quarter mile in 9.2, you can show up to your local drag strip and beat anything other than drag-prepped, really, really fast cars with a cage and a flame suit and everything. The car's fast enough to where you're actually going to get kicked out of your local track, unless they're really friendly, for braking 10 seconds in a car that doesn't have a roll cage in it. But it's not just a one-trick pony, it's also an incredible daily driver all at the same time. Of course, we have autopilot, which, funny enough, actually works in the canyons. Let's go ahead and activate it now. Oh my gosh, it's doing autopilot on a tight, twisty road where no other system, self-driving system from Mercedes or BMW, is capable of doing autopilot on a tight, twisty road. And then on the highway, it works really, really well. This doesn't even have the full autonomous driving, which is a $10,000 option. I honestly don't think it's worth it. The car still has autopilot without that full self-driving option. And because of laws and regulations, it can't actually fully drive itself from point A to point B without you paying attention yet anyways. With the smaller wheels, we get a 396-mile range, which really is impressive. No longer do you have to be worried at all times that you're going to run out of juice. That being said, with the 21-inch wheels and the way that I like to drive this Plaid, and I really can't imagine owning a Plaid and wanting to drive it any other way other than full throttle at any given time that you can, you really do deplete the battery fast. In the last 2 days, I've had to charge this thing 3 different times. I'm sure that, maybe the average Plaid client might not be driving it quite as aggressively, but I probably was getting about 150 to 175 miles per charge as opposed to 348. Regardless though, it's so much fun to accelerate that violently fast that I really don't care. There's something special about being in this vehicle. It gives you this feeling of power and being the king of the road, because you know that no matter what pulls up next to you on the street, literally no matter what, you're going to be faster. And because those electric motors hit instantly, you don't have to wait for RPMs and turbos to spool up, even cars that are slightly faster are going to lose the race, at least for a very long time, because this car hits so quickly from a 20 roll, 30 roll, 40 roll, and off the line, it's actually insane. I love how comfortable it is to drive. It's very isolated in the interior. You don't hear any crazy tire noise or road noise. It really is relaxing. The speaker system in the Model S Plaid is phenomenal. The bass is really, really good in this vehicle. It's got tons of space. I packed this car full of 5 people multiple times and no one was complaining whatsoever. And I really do love how much storage space there is in the Model S Plaid. Is this the best car in the world? Now, I'm not talking about hypercars or supercars, because obviously there's handling characteristics of those that are going to be far superior to a Plaid. But in terms of a daily driver, something that you can drive around and that also will rip your face off with its acceleration, I actually think that the Tesla Model S Plaid is the best car in the world. I really, truly mean that. It is actually insane. It's insane. All right, we're back into Plaid mode, steering mode in sport. How does it handle at higher speeds? That's something I was really curious about. Obviously, it was going to be incredibly fast in a straight line, but how does this thing do in the canyons around tight corners, given the fact that it weighs 4,700 pounds and it's a big sedan? Well, I'm pleased to report it handles impressively well. Now, it still feels, whoa, like a big vehicle. It doesn't feel quite as pinpoint sharp in terms of its handling as the Taycan Turbo S does, but the braking, oh my God, the braking ability is impressive. The levels of grip this has is really insane. There's no body roll, and the acceleration out of the corners is terrifying. It doesn't just accelerate around, it jumps from the corner to the next one, and all of a sudden you're hitting the brakes much quicker than you think you have to because you're going ballistic speeds. It is kind of scary to drive in the canyons, I'm not going to lie, but at the same time, it's so much fun, and nobody knows that you're flooring it everywhere because it doesn't make any noise. So you're not disrupting everyone around that's in their houses going, gosh darn it, another young kid flooring his 335i. Nope, they have no idea that you even exist inside of the Model S. Now, an additional video, 5 things I hate about, as well as a what it's like to drive point of view. I'm going to talk a lot more about what the yoke steering wheel is actually like on a daily basis. I'll be honest, it's better than I was thinking in every regard, but there are some serious shortcomings, particularly at low speeds and on really tight, twisty canyons. I'll show you some scenarios in the additional video. Overall, this is my favorite daily driver. I know that it doesn't have a crazy V8 soundtrack. I get that. And I know a lot of people say that you're not a car enthusiast if you drive an electric car, and they don't have any soul, they're just a computer. I guarantee 1 second behind the wheel, 1.99 seconds behind the wheel of the Plaid, if you tell me this car has no soul and is boring, there's actually something wrong with your brain. Like, I don't know how you could experience this acceleration and not find this vehicle fun. I get that argument. Of course I love the soundtrack of a V12 over an electric car. But for a daily driver, you know, when you've got 130 to 150 grand to spend on your everyday car, you've got money to buy other cars. So chances are this is not going to be your only vehicle. So what about having a Tesla Model S Plaid that can wipe the floor with hypercars and is quiet, you just cruise around town in stealth mode, and then have a crazy loud straight pipe supercar or hypercar as your second vehicle? There's no reason that you can't have the best of both worlds. But in terms of practicality, it's all-wheel drive. You could drive it in the rain. In fact, it accelerates really fast in the rain. It handles plenty good. Honestly, impressively well for a vehicle of this size. It's insanely fast. The interior is leaps and bounds ahead of Teslas of the past. Finally, it actually feels high quality and like a true luxury car inside of the Model S Plaid. Overall, I'm blown away. I don't want to give this thing back. In fact, I've been looking online about how long the wait time is. Unfortunately, if you order one right now, it'll take till January or February. Then I went to look at used ones, which are going for $30,000 to $50,000 over sticker. It pains me. I want one of these so badly as a daily driver. You guys have no idea. A testament of an amazing vehicle is once you hop out of it, are you missing the car? Do you want to get right back in? And that is so true with the Plaid. The second I hopped out of this thing, I went, you know what? I'm not doing anything right now. I think I'm gonna go drive the Plaid around and scare the crap out of myself. And truly, it is a scary, scary car. If you get one of these, which I highly recommend, seriously, for the money, it is unbeatable. Please be careful. It is really fast, like really, really fast. Yes, you can just buy one, and yes, it's a Tesla sedan, but you could hurt yourself or somebody very, very easily. Now, interestingly enough, part of the yoke design has me wondering, because it's a little bit harder to turn quickly, did they make a yoke wheel to make people less likely to go around corners quickly and go in the canyons because it accelerates so fast? Because really this car is most exceptional in a straight line form. Could be. I don't know if that was part of Tesla's ideology behind the yoke, but oh! Man, the 0 to 60 is fast, but beyond 60 is when things really get fun. Oh! I don't think I've made that noise before. I think the Plaid has unlocked a new noise. Oh man. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Like always, please browse the channel and subscribe. I am head over heels in love with this car, and I hope someday soon I can have one of these in my driveway. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Like always, please browse the channel and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next video.